Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zolder for the final round of RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship. This is the round where the championship will get decided. Luke Bennett's successor is either going to be Demobi or the console. The odds very much in Demobi's favour at the moment, currently sitting at the top of the championship with a 70-point lead, has dominated this season so far, has been in the podium in I think every single race but two so far this season. So absolutely fantastic, consistent performing from Demobi. Here he is, current championship leader, could seal the championship with a 14th place finish in this race, and with 13 drivers on the field, all he has to do is bring it over the line for the checkered flag, and he will be the RRTCC champion for season 1 of 2020 here at RubbingsRacing. Here's the man who can take it away from him, the console, 70 points behind him in the championship. Alex is a 25-year-old sound engineer from Norwich. He's a moderator on our Discord, runs our Discord, owns our Discord, and here he is, currently P4 in the standings at the moment. He's just under a second off of the pace being set by our championship leader at the moment as he comes into the chicane. Let's ride with him and see what sort of lap time this is for Alex. He's got a good chance in a couple of the championships this season. He's running second in this one, the touring cars. He's also got a great shot at winning the Friday GT5 Ginetta League. Currently leading the championship going into the final round this week. So Alex has got a big week ahead of him, and I'm sure he'll be feeling that pressure. But at the moment he's got a little bit of traffic in front of him. Looks like he just had to clear Smithy. He had a bit of a lock-up going into that last corner. And in the foreground, I think that might be Stealth Sheep in front of him, so he's got to watch out. But Stealth Sheep with plenty of pace. Alex shouldn't really be outpacing him too much at the moment. Here comes the console over the line. What's it going to be? Currently P5 in this session, just under a second off the pace. It's an improvement, but it's not enough. And in fact, Bobby Dazzler actually, Bobby Dazzler actually bettered him on his previous lap. So the console down to P6 for the time being in this session. Thank you everybody for joining us live on the YouTube channel on RubbingsRacing. Be sure to leave a like, hit that sub like and bell button, and be sure to join us at www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Let us know in the comments who your favourite is for this race. Currently Demobi looking very, very strong. Here he is, the potential champion here this evening. 7/10 of a second is his current gap at the front. That guitar dude going well in qualifying at the moment. We've seen some good times in practice here. That guitar dude hasn't had he's in the top 5 in the championship. Currently sits at P5 in the standings. He's always been a little bit quiet in the races, but he's always doing bits in most of these races. He actually won the feature at Alton Park in round 1 earlier this season in wet conditions. Very impressive there. He made the call at the right time to bring it in and change to the wet tyres when a lot of other guys were staying out. So he's good in changeable conditions. If rain falls tonight, that guitar dude expects him to be prominent. Lecky, currently running P3, the coordinator of the RRTCC, moderator on RubbingsRacing Discord, also flying high this evening. Currently P3 in the standings, 8/10 of a second off of pole position. He's 9th in the championship standings on 150 points is Lecky. Hasn't been the greatest season. We know Lecky's one of the quickest guys in the touring cars. A little bit of a lock up into the chicane, but he's nailed it pretty nicely at the moment. We'll keep an eye on how Lecky gets on in this session. What's Stealth Sheep doing? Stealth Sheep currently P4, has won a few of the races. Actually won on his debut in the RTCC earlier this season at Brno. He comes comes over the line, and not an improvement that time. Lightblade has moved up into P2. Lightblade, our 35-year-old from Swansea, one of the quickest guys in the RTCC. If he had a chance to race all season, I'm absolutely certain that he would be right up there battling it out with Demobi. He's a big fan of Formula 1, MotoGP and WRC, and has raced in multiple leagues. He's a fan of single-seater vehicles and wants to continue to improve his sim racing skills. And what a place to do it here on the RubbingsRacing channel. It's very much in the spotlight here, so the eyes are on you, Lightblade. Let's see if you can deliver. What's Bobby Dazzler doing? Bobby Dazzler currently sat P6 in the standings at the moment. Bobby Dazzler is he's also 6th in the championship standings, so he seems to like 6th place quite a little bit. He's currently 1.1 seconds off of the lead, being set by Demobi. Bobby Dazzler was actually runner-up in the GT4 Ginetta series last season here at RubbingsRacing. Didn't race in the Friday League this season, but we know he's very, very quick in the touring cars as he comes out of the last corner now. Currently sat P6 in qualifying for the sprint race, Bobby Dazzler. Let's see what this is as he comes up towards the line. He's taking a short entry towards the line, and it is second place for Bobby Dazzler. What a lap there! That has come out of absolutely nowhere. Brilliant stuff from Bobby Dazzler. Fantastic lap time, and wasn't expecting that from him, but great lap there. And could he stick it to the Moby here in this session? The console currently P7. We said he's the only man who can actually take the championship off of the Moby. It's looking increasingly unlikely unless the Moby has a disconnection or something disastrous happens. But here comes Alex over the line, and it's not an improvement, unfortunately, for Alex. What's Grandad Stee up to? Grandad Stee currently P9 in the session, 2.8 seconds off the pace is Grandad Stee. He's a man from Newcastle. He's, I think he's about just coming towards the end of the lap now. Is he going to nail this one? Currently P9. We know Grandad Stee is pretty handy, but hasn't had the greatest season in the touring cars. 12th in the championship standings. I wonder if he'll be looking to go out on a high this season. Doesn't look like that's going to be an improvement now, unfortunately, for Grandad Stee. Currently P10, Scotty, or Lion's Foot as he's known on PlayStation. Here he comes, just coming through the middle section of the lap now. Lion's Foot is 10th in the championship. He joined midway through the season, was promoted from the, he started the season. It was last season that he joined halfway through. He's started off the RTCC Tier 1 this season. Regular in our GT3 championship as well. Still got his one of our regular drivers, one of the cleanest drivers you'll ever see. Currently up on his personal best at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on this as it develops. Uni Clark, Smithy and Thorsten rounding out the top 13 here. Uni Clark runner-up in last season's championship. Smithy currently sat third in the championship. Let's see where Smithy is. Smithy's currently third in the championship. Missed a couple of rounds last season. Has had a better go of it this season. Was in contention to fight with the Moby and the console in the championship right up until the previous round. So Smithy 75 points off of the lead, third in the championship. He could be looking over his shoulder for third place here because Lightblade is coming after him. Currently Smithy on 218 points, Lightblade on 195, so we'll see how this one goes in the final round. Thorsten Schmidt in the BMW not doing too good of a job at the moment, 10 seconds off the pace as it stands. Let's see what Scotty does. Scotty moves up into P9. He improves right at the end of the session there. So Scotty moves up a position. Looks like Lightblade got very, very close to Demoby right at the end of that qualifying session. Put it within 2/10. So Demoby will line up on pole position with Lightblade alongside him. Bobby Dazzler, we saw that lap of his putting it into P3. Then Stealth Sheep seems to be in P4. Lecky's still, it says that Lecky's still out on a lap time, but I don't think that is a time lapse. So Lecky seems to have finished the session. Smithy is about there on a lap. Here comes Smithy out of the final turn. Currently sat P13 in qualifying. We know he's capable of a lot more than that. Here comes Smithy over the line. Is it going to be an improvement? It is a considerable improvement, but it's not put him in the top half of the field. So Smithy there, we just heard a team radio voicing his discontent with 8th position in qualifying for this sprint race. Ladies and gentlemen, Leia Demoby, our championship leader, will start on pole position with Lightblade alongside him, Bobby Dazzler and Stealth Sheep behind these guys. It's looking like the advantage to Moby in the championship here. All he needs to do is finish the race and he will be crowned RRTCC champion. Stay with us for the sprint race, guys. We're going to proceed and we're going to get going. Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost about to get going for the championship decider here. Finale of the RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship. When the lights go out, we'll be underway. And looks like runaway, looks like a good start there from Demoby from pole position. Lightblade also very nicely away. Bobby does a pretty clean start from everybody. It looks like Dakatanu got a hell of a jump. It looks like he might be ahead of Stealth Sheep as they come into the first corner. Looks like Stealth Sheep maybe just about holding it on the inside, but Dakatanu's gone very wide and onto the gravel, so we've got a yellow flag there. Dakatanu instantly in the wars, down to the last place already. Demoby leading into this next tricky section. Can we go heavy on the brakes here? And it looks like we're all pretty much as we started. Lecky's up into P5. Lecky's got by Smithy straight away. So Lecky making a fantastic start. He's going to look to the inside here as Stealth Sheep. Can Lecky make the move? It looks like he has done, but he's had to go onto the grass there to avoid contact and go right over the curb, but a little bit too much there. So that's going to compromise him a lot, and looks like Lecky's lost the position. He's down to P7 and down to P8 even. Looks like Grandad Steve's got past him as well. Disaster there for Lecky after such a good start to the race. And what's Smithy up to? Smithy's just got past, well, it looks like he's actually held onto the position there from the console. Well, Lecky looking back up the inside of Steve. Steve leaves the door wide open, and it looks like Lecky's made the move back on him again. So Lecky's trying to make up for that little error there as they come from the chicane. Looks like Lions Foot, Uni Clark and Kembo. Kembo, terrible start. He's down to P12 and it's not going very well this season. It's one to forget for Kembo. Was third in the RTCC last season, but it hasn't gone to plan at all this season. and I'm sure we can't wait for this one to end, to get going and go again from there the next one. But what's going on here at the front of the field? So Demobi currently leading the field around. We've got Lightblade in tow, not letting him get out of his sight. Lightblade is a hell of a fighter. We know he's never going to give up, and he's always going to push Demobi right until the end of the race. We're just seeing on the race director screen Grenard Stee and Kembo both with penalties on the very first lap here. So these guys not keeping it within the track limits there. That will be race director penalties to knock them back at the end of the race on the classification. So Demobi currently leading the field around. Looks like Smithy and the console very, very close on the track now. Alex is closing in on him all the time. He's right up his bumper at the moment, but can't get around him. Smithy still doing a good job keeping in behind him. Lecky is falling. Oh, Lecky's lost the car. You've got a yellow flag through the first sector there. Lecky's lost it, and the whole field, apart from that guitar dude, are going to come past him. So Lecky in the wars. He looks like he's got it going again though. Kept the engine running. And in the meantime, it looks like we've got, well, we should have had, but looks like Thorsten coming under pressure now from Uniclark. Uniclark, our man from Swindon, last season's runner-up in the RTCC. He's looking to the outside. Thorsten covers the inside and cuts the corner on the exit, so it looks like he's going to get a slowdown penalty, and that's going to allow Uniclark to go up the inside of the next corner. Is he going to make a dive, or looks like he's going to have the outside, and looks like Uniclark's got the move into the chicane. So good driving there. Thorsten in the end had to back out of it, cut the exit of the chicane, which ultimately cost him that position. What's going on at the front? We've got Smithy still trying to hold off the console, but Alex is very, very hot in his mirrors. Alex knows he has to win this race if he wants to have any chance of keeping this championship fight alive, but he knows he needs Demobi to either crash out or disconnect for that to happen. So a lot of things have to go Alex's way in this race if he wants to take the championship here this evening. It looks like it looks like we're 99% sure it's going to be Demobi taking the RRTCC for 2020 season 1 here at RubbingsRacing. But at the moment we've got Demobi still fending off Lightblade, but Demobi a little bit wide coming through that corner. So definitely Lightblade can look at the way Demobi's going and see cracks in our German drivers driving. But at the moment Demobi doing a good job up front. Let's have a look back and see what's going back through the pack. It looks like Uniclark and Thorsten fighting it out again, and Thorsten's going to go on the outside of Uniclark. Can he hold it in the BMW? Looks like he has. Thorsten drives round our man from Swindon. Fantastic job there from our German driver. Can he hold on to it? In the background there, Lionsfoot and Kembo going wheel to wheel. It looks like Lionsfoot's got the better of him, and Kembo's now coming under pressure here from Lecky. Lecky's going to drive right round him. And can he hold it, or is Kembo going to fight back here as they come down the straight? In the meantime, in the foreground there, you can see Uniclark and Thorsten going wheel to wheel once again, and Thorsten keep holding the inside, doing a great job, but Thorsten's got a bit of a train forming here. He's got Uniclark, Lionsfoot and Lecky in hot pursuit, and I'm sure these guys are going to be wanting to get past as soon as possible here as they come into the chicane. And you saw Uniclark having a little look. Oh, there's contact there! That's a disaster there for Kembo and Lecky, and maybe Kembo at fault for that one, possibly. That was a little bit of a rash move up the inside. It looks like the guys have got it going again, but it looks like, there we go, Kembo getting it going. He's waiting up for Lecky, but Lecky's saying over the team radio, no, go, 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 go. So looks like it's all good there with those guys, but unfortunate to see those guys coming together. Our two moderators on our Discord, as we see now, we've got Uniclark looking to the inside here of Thorsten. Once again, these guys battling out. Is he going to go late on the brakes, or is Thorsten going to try and hold it around the outside? Looks like Thorsten's going to keep it in the position, but Uniclark looking very, very hot. He's going to get a better exit out of the final corner. But it looks like Uniclark, in the meantime, while trying to get that position, has left himself wide open, and Lionsfoot's now going to get the slipstream effect here of Thorsten down the main straight. So who's going to be later on the brakes? It looks as though Uniclark very on the brakes, but he gets a little bit out of shape there, and that's going to allow Thorsten to keep the outside line. But can he hold it, or is Uniclark going to keep it on the inside? It looks like Uniclark just about holding on to the position. Lionsfoot watching this unfold. That guitar dude trying to fight back from his first corner disaster on the first lap. He made a great start up into P5, but then ran wide onto the gravel trap, and he's trying to get back into the mix and get his race back on track here. What's going on in the background? It looks like, oh my goodness, it looks like Uniclark gets very out of shape there. Maybe a slowdown penalty or something, but he has to let all of these guys through, and that guitar dude is going to have the outside of the chicane, but Uniclark in the end fends him off. And so now it's a turn of fortune. It looks like Lionsfoot gets by Thorsten Schmidt. Thorsten's going to try and fight back though, but looks like Lionsfoot's holding him off. Good driving there. Scotty up into P8 in all of that little action. So in the meantime, Demobi's absolutely stretched out his lead at the front of the pack. He's got 3.5 seconds now, and he looks like champion-elect for all that the console can do here. Smithy is trying to hold off Bobby Dazzler, as we see the console looking to the inside of Bobby Dazzler. Is he going to go for a move? No, he thinks better of that one. The console definitely thought about that, but in the end, Alex, very wise, very experienced driver on Project Cars, knows that that's not worth going for a punt at this stage in the race. But he's looking hot on the heels here of Bobby Dazzler. In the meantime, this has allowed Smithy to pull away just a tiny bit here from these guys. We saw him, he was coming under a little bit of fire, but now this train has dropped off of him, and it looks like the console's going to look to the inside of Bobby Dazzler. He's going to have a very long race. Bit of a lock up there from Alex. Can he hold it? It looks like Bobby Dazzler's going to get the nicer run and simply outdrive him out of the corner. But Alex here still right in the slipstream. Trying to distract him in the mirrors. Ducking to the left, ducking to the right, but Bobby Dazzler not taking the bait, not being pressured off of the road at the moment. Good driving here from all of these guys, marshalling themselves and not running into each other. It's so easily done in these touring cars. They're not easy beasts to control, but at the moment, Smithy, Bobby Dazzler, good console, and Stealth Sheep running line of stern. Stealth Sheep hasn't really put his nose in this one at all. He's just watched this unfold. He's maybe just patiently waiting for these guys to run into each other, or waiting for something to happen that will allow him to take these positions and come out with possibly a podium spot here in this sprint race. This is round 6, the final race of the RRTC here this evening, as we see the console looking to the inside here. Bobby Dazzler leaves the door wide open, lock up for there from Alex, but he looks like he's made the move, but Bobby Dazzler's going to get a lovely exit and keep it around the outside. But all the time we can see the console just piling on the pressure, and the console's going to have the slipstream here from Smithy as they come down this straight. But he's going to have the outside, and Bobby Dazzler's going to be late on the brakes into the chicane. It looks like he's still got it at the moment, but Alex is just not giving this one up. Bobby Dazzler, some resolute defending so far as they come down the main straight here. You can see Stealth Sheep in the background just watching this unfold, waiting to get involved when these guys trip up, or if these guys trip over each other. But Bobby Dazzler almost a little bit out of shape there. Looks like the console was banking on him making an error there on the exit of the corner, but just about keeping onto it. And it's as you were here in the battle for the final podium spot. Smithy once again pulling away from this little pack whilst these guys battle it out. So Smithy will be happy to see these guys squabbling in his mirrors, because he'll know that this will give him a chance to get some clean air and log some laps in. But last time around, very interestingly, Smithy actually quicker than the race leader Demobi. So in some clear air, without the pressure on behind him, Smithy has got the pace here in this race here at Zolder, as we see Bobby Dazzler getting a little bit loose out of the chicane, and that's going to allow the console to pull right up onto him. Again, you can see Alex bobbing and weaving, trying to distract him in the mirrors, but Bobby Dazzler having none of it. Little lock up there from Bobby Dazzler. The console's going to pull alongside him on the exit, but Alex knows that if he goes for a move or takes too much of a risk, he's going to find himself wide open to Stealth Sheep, and that's the last thing he wants. He doesn't want to find himself down a position after all the time he spent behind Bobby Dazzler. And each and every time we come into this corner, you see Alex just trying to move to the right hand side, but Bobby Dazzler just keep holding his line, holding his nerve each and every time. Good driving from all of these guys at the moment in this race. What's going on with Lionsfoot? It looks like Lionsfoot's having to defend here from Nakatari. Nakatari's got past Unicorn. Nakatari's going to mug for a move over. Looks like he's going to move to the right hand side, but Lionsfoot goes very, very defensive. Nakatari's going to have to go around the outside if he wants to get it done. And no one's going to go around the outside of Scotty through there. Scotty, very defensive, and good driving here from Scotty, but Nakatari on the warpath here. And we see behind these guys, Uniclark not letting these guys get out of his sight. Thorsten's dropped off a little bit off of the top 10 guys at the moment. We saw he was in there in the thick of it, but that BMW not able to consistently keep the lap times with these guys. But Thorsten still doing a good job. It's always a challenge for Thorsten against these Megans, because the BMW just simply is not as good. It's through the corners as these Renault Megans. It's very, very quick on the straights. It's got the acceleration off the line, but that's pretty much where where the perks of the BMW end. As we see Lionsfoot is still holding on here from Nakatari, but Nakatari's right up his chuff, and we see Lionsfoot getting a little bit out of shape, and that's going to allow Nakatari up the inside. He's made the move there, good move there from Nakatari, saw his opportunity and went for it, and Lionsfoot's now going to find himself with Uniclark pulling alongside him as they come down the straight. And although is Lionsfoot going to try and fight back on Nakatari? No, he's not close enough coming into the chicane. It looks like Uniclark's going to get a nice exit, but still not close enough to Scotty at the moment to challenge him for ninth position. Looks like the console's finally got past Bobby Dazzler for P3 and Stealth Sheep now right onto the back of Bobby Dazzler. So we missed it, unfortunately. We were following those guys for quite a while. We were covering that little battle. The console obviously has to win this race in order to take the championship, but it looks like with 3 laps to go here in the sprint race, Demobi, all he has to do is just finish this race. At the moment he's leading, so champion-elect Demobi here, he's got 3 laps left in this race and he'll be the RRTCC champion for 2020 season 1 here at RubbingsRacing. But it's not over yet. We don't want to count out the console because Demobi's still got to finish the race. If he disconnects now, then it throws the championship wide open for the feature race. But at the moment he's done everything he can do as Demobi, lapping quicker than anybody else out there on the track. Last time around was in the 1:39, class of the field in this sprint race. Been class of the field all season long, and that's no discredit to the other guys in the field. It's been pretty close in a lot of the races, but Demobi's had the consistency. He's always been there in the top 3 near enough every single race in all of the 10 races that we've had so far this season over the 5 events. So Demobi, will keep an eye and see how he's doing in a couple of laps time when we get onto the final laps. A 10 lap sprint race, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll have to keep an eye out and see what Demobi's doing when he gets towards the end of the race. Smithy doing a good job, 7 seconds off the pace, but he's pulled out a gap here to the console and Bobby Dazzler, so he looks pretty set for 2nd place. Smithy currently third in the championship, so the battle for 2nd place in the championship could be heating right up here. Lightblade looks like he's gonna drop points in this battle for 2nd place in the championship. It looks like it's pretty much down to the console and Smithy for the feature race to fight over that runner-up spot. At the moment, obviously they came into this race 5 points apart. The console on 223, the Smithy on 218. That gap's going to come down a little bit to 2 points, and that's excluding fastest laps and pole position bonus points. So it's going to be very, very close in the battle for the runner-up spot here this evening. And there we go. We can see Bobby Dazzler's just done his fastest lap of the race so far, and he's closing onto the back onto the console. These guys have had a race-long battle. We saw the console behind him for a number of laps, and we thought he could be holding him up maybe, but it looks like, pardon me, these guys very, very evenly matched on pace at the moment. Pardon me. Let's have a look and see what's going on. Looks like Stealth Sheep's still sat on the back of these guys, but he just can't get past them or make a move here at this stage. He's just been watching this battle unfold and unable to really get involved in this one so far as Stealth Sheep. What have we got going back through the field? Looks like we're all pretty strung out here for this one. So lap and a half left to go. Demobi has led pretty much the whole championship this season here for RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship. Was unable to compete in the last season's championship, unfortunately. He was tied up to other commitments, but since he jumped in the Touring Car division, has been an absolute revelation. Has driven fantastically all season. He's got just over a lap to go now, and he will take the championship here at Zolder this evening before the feature race has started. Here comes our Bavarian driver. Stewart on our Discord runs the Hot Lap Challenge on our Discord as well. The Hot Lap Challenge, if you don't already know, is a weekly challenge. It starts on every Monday at 8 PM GMT. It runs for the next 7 days. All you guys, if you want to go on our Discord, check it out, post your lap time, and see if you can get in with a chance of winning some pride and getting your name at the top of the leaderboard. It's always worth getting involved. Demobi also very actively involved in steward inquiries on the Discord as well, always making sure that drivers are marshalling themselves properly. It's great to have him on board in our team, and he's driven, as I say, fantastically well this season in the RRTCC. Has had a 70-point lead coming into this race. That lead is going to be even more here after this sprint race. He's just coming into the final half lap now. He's closing in on the championship here into the chicane. A little bit of a lock-up, but I'm sure he will not be phased one bit by that. But anybody looking to get involved in the Demobi's Hot Lap Challenge, go to our Discord, do your lap in the Ford Sierra Cosworth at the Oschersleben, and definitely worth getting involved with. Get your name on that standings board. Here comes Demobi into the final few corners. He is about to become the new champion of the RRTCC, succeeding Luke Bennett. We hope that he's watching this somewhere out in the world at the moment. But Demobi out of the final corner, new champion, the second champion of RubbingsRacing's 2020 Season 1. Demobi takes the RubbingsRacing Touring Car Championship. Fantastic job all season, Demobi. Well done. Brilliant driving. Smithy is going to come over the line and hold on for second here and help himself in his battle with Console for the runner-up spot in the championship. Bobby Dazzler over the line in fourth, just about holding on there from Stealth Sheep. Lightblade follows these guys over in sixth. Then Grandad Stee is going to come over in seventh position. That guitar dude is coming out of the last turn now in eighth. Then we've got Uni Clark, ninth. Dawston will complete the top 10 in a BMW. He looks like he's just about going to hold a left off Lecky, but Lecky's looking very feisty here out of the final turn. Can Lecky out, drag him to the line? It doesn't look like it. Thorsten's going to hold on. And Lion's Foot in 12th position. Great stuff there from the guys on the track. Congratulations to Demobi. He takes the championship here in our sprint race. Fantastic job from him. We'll see you guys very shortly for the qualifying for the feature race. We'll be back in a moment. Thank you ever so much, guys, and congratulations to Demobi on taking the championship here this evening. Fantastic job. See you guys shortly. Welcome back, everybody, to Zolder. We're here for qualifying for our feature race here. If you're just joining us, we have just crowned a new champion of RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship. Demobi managed to secure the championship with the feature race to spare here, so massive congratulations to Demobi for taking the championship. He's driven brilliantly all season, finished on the podium in all but in all but 2 of our 11 races so far this season. So fantastic job. If you feel free to congratulate Demobi in the comment section. Currently we're riding with Bobby Dazzler, who gets a little bit out of shape there on his out lap and spins it around. He looks like he's got it going again, so bit of a strange one there for Bobby Dazzler. Bobby Dazzler did a good job here in the sprint race. I believe he finished 4th or 5th, but he had a very good battle with the console during that one, and Smithy and Stealth Sheep as well. Lightblade was also involved in that one. Demobi did run away with it a little bit, our new champion, but the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th was absolutely fantastic. Just had Tuggy Bear says congratulations Demobi on the championship. Tuggy Bear just mentioning there, well done to Demobi. Demobi says thank you very much, Tuggy Bear. So let's see, has Demobi come out for his, looks like he's still coming out to do some laps, so Demobi still not done yet. He wants to rub salt in the wounds and extend that championship gap even more than it already is, so well done to Demobi. Actually, unlike last season's champion, Luke Bennett, who did actually leave for the feature race after securing the championship. So let's have a look. What's going on with Stealth Sheep? Stealth Sheep's coming out of the final corner now. He's just about to start his lap. I don't think it's a flying lap yet, so let's see who's furthest up on the track. Let's try and figure out who's closest to completing a flying lap, if we can.
Me.
I think it might be Bobby Dazzler or Smithy. Is it you, Smithy? I'm sure. Yeah. Alright, so Smithy was the first man out of the pits, so we're going to follow Smithy round here as he comes through the chicane. On his first flying lap of this session, Smithy was second in the sprint race. He's currently battling for 2nd place in the championship with the console. The console currently has got 3 points over him in this tussle, so it's going to go all the way down to the wire here in this feature race. It looks like Lightblade with a 5th place finish, or 6th place finish, sorry, in the sprint race. Looks like he's out of the running for the runner-up spot, so it is down to the console and Smithy to fight it out. Smithy got the 2nd spot in the sprint race, and I'm sure he'll be looking to keep up this sort of form. He's had slightly quicker pace than Alex so far in this event, I would say. His lap times have on average been a little bit quicker. Here he comes over the line. He's about to complete his first flying lap of this feature race qualifying session, and 42.1 is not close to what we saw in the previous qualifying session. So Smithy still getting those tyres warmed up, not quite up to temperature at the minute. What's Bobby Dazzler? Where's Bobby Dazzler? Oh, it looks like Grandad Steve's come over the line. He's done a 43.0. The console a second off the pace at the moment. I'm sure these guys will be improving on those lap times. Looks like that Guitardo did an invalid lap time. Lightblade goes top of the order, 141.1. He's a second clear of Smithy's time. Lightblade there laying down the benchmark. Currently fourth in the championship, Lightblade. Looks like he is out of the running for the second place in the championship due to his sixth place finish in the sprint race, finishing behind the console and Smithy when he really needed to gain points on them in order to keep himself in it. I think he's still mathematically in with a chance, but he would need to win the race and he would need the other two to have an absolute mare of a final race to take that spot. So Lightblade doing a good job though, currently 2/10 up on his provisional pole time. He's done a 41.1. He's 6/10 of a second currently to our second place man, who is our current new champion of the RRTCC, Demobi. Demobi though 8/10 up on his personal best. So if Lightblade's 2/10 up on his best lap time and Demobi's 8/10 up on his personal best, that means they're pretty much doing even lap times here on this one. So Lightblade, let's see how this one pans out. Currently up on that provisional pole time. We're expecting to see a 1:40 here. We saw 1:39s in the sprint race here. We don't know if the track temperature's similar to what it was before. Lightblade slightly slower in the middle sector than he was in the first sector, so he's going to have to bring it back in the final sector if he wants to improve his current provisional pole time. His first sector was 2/10 up. He's lost a tenth in the middle though. Here he comes, Lightblade, into the final couple of corners now, into the final chicane. He's going to be hard on the brakes. He's going to look to absolutely nail this and get the best possible exit he can, and try and shave a couple of tenths or maybe even more off of his fastest lap time so far. That Guitar Dude's gone first, P1 with a 44.4, so Lightblade's going to have to absolutely kill it on this go, and it looks like it's not enough. Lightblade over the line, it still says P2. Where's Demobi? Demobi's coming over the line now, and Demobi has put it in P2, so that Guitar Dude has absolutely popped up out of nowhere with that one. Pole position currently in this feature race qualifying session. Brilliant job from that Guitar Dude. We weren't expecting that one. P5 in the championship. That Guitar Dude has had a quiet one so far this season. Maybe hasn't shown his full potential. We saw in last season's RRTCC he was running high in the championship up until he had a couple of absences in that one. But so far this season it hasn't really gone to plan, but doing a good job here in this feature race qualifying session for the final round of the RRTCC. Thank you everybody for joining us live on YouTube. If you're interested in joining Rubbings Racing, then go to www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. This is the final race of the Rubbings Racing's Touring Car Championship season, but be sure to stay with us for the rest of the week. This is championship week here at Rubbings Racing. We've got many championships still on the line. Friday, GT5 Ginettas, the console, Maui and K Morse all go into that one with a chance of taking the title. Then on Sunday morning we've got the Formula Renaults, which there is a 5-driver fight for the championship. Currently Flaky heading that one with Dalavan and last season's LMP1 champ also with a chance of winning that one. And on Sunday night we've got the duel for the double between Yasko and Edwin. So stay tuned for a fantastic week here on Rubbings Racing. It's going to be a brilliant end to the season. This final week is definitely, well, hoping it will live up to the hype. The console has gone P2. He's put it within 7 thousandths of a second of that Guitar Dude. He's up into the front row of the grid. Demobi's coming over the line. Let's see if Demobi can put it on pole position. No, he can't. It's not enough. Maybe he got a little bit held up there by I think that's Thorsten in front of him. And that's Demobi getting a little bit out of shape there. Thorsten Schmidt currently P10, running the top 10 position in this session so far, doing a fantastic job in the Beamer as always. Gets a little bit out of shape there. That will be lap abandoned for Thorsten for this one. Lightblade currently out there on a lap time. He's 6/10 of a second off him. And look at this, Lecky puts it up to top of the order there. Brilliant stuff from our coordinator there. Lecky has not, I believe, won a race this season, but he's absolutely thrown down the benchmark here. Has got it on provisional pole position in this feature race qualifying session. Lecky would dearly love to go out on a high this season. We know that he will be racing in Tier 2 for the RRTCC next season. Obviously, one of the downsides of being a coordinator is that you do sometimes have to take one for the team, and him and his co-coordinator Murphy do actually share the responsibility. So it looks as though it looks like Lecky may be going out on a high in this one if he can get a victory in his final Tier 1 race for a little while. Bobby Dazzler though goes top of the order with a P1 140 dev. there from Bobby Dazzler. He's 2/10 up on Smithy at the moment. Good job there from Bobby Dazzler. The times are coming in thick and fast now in the final minute of this qualifying session for our feature race here this evening for Rubbings Racing's Touring Car Championship. Lots of guys joining us on the stream. Ollie Marseille says, let's go console. Ollie's definitely behind Alex here this evening. Ollie always pops up in the chat giving the console lots of support. We still haven't seen Big Al in the chat this evening, so not sure where they're at, but hopefully we'll see them making an appearance tonight. But at the moment, the console running P5 in the standings for qualifying. We know him and Smithy have got a big battle here for this runner-up spot in the championship. I just want to let all you guys know watching on the stream that Demobi did actually take the championship for the RRTCC in the sprint race here this evening, so that is all done and dusted. Demobi is the new champion. Oh look, Victoria's in the chat. Hey, brilliant stuff. Welcome, Victoria. Alex currently P5 in this session. He's just under half a second off of pole position. He's battling for the runner-up spot here in tonight's RRTCC, so he's looking to absolutely smash it. He's currently 3 points ahead of Smithy in the championship, so he pretty much just needs to finish ahead of Smithy in this feature race and he will take second spot. And Alex has done a very good job so far in this season. He's been very consistent, always there or thereabouts, both in sprint and feature races this season, so well done to Alex. Always a massive asset for us here at Rubbings Racing, and currently only half a second off of pole, being P5 in this session. You would think he'd be a bit further off, but the pack is actually very, very tight here in this feature race qualifying session. Not much to separate these guys at all. Bobby Dazzler currently heads it. He's out there, looks like he's bailed out actually on that one, so that guitar dude and the console, the only guys who can realistically make a change to this pecking order. But it looks like that guitar dude's come over the line to finish that lap, so it looks like the console, Stealth Sheep, maybe Demobi can get on pole position. He's still out there on lap time. Lightblade goes fourth at the end of the session. Look, good luck there from Lightblade. Stealth Sheep, Demobi, looks like Stealth Sheep's maybe done. Demobi over the line, can he get it on pole? He can't, but he puts it on the front row of the grid, so it looks like Bobby Dazzler and Demobi would line up on the front row. Stealth Sheep's still out there, but I think this is not going to be enough. Let's have a look at the split times and see what it's going to be. Here he comes over the line now. Can Stealth Sheep put himself in the mix? He can. P5 for Stealth Sheep. What's the console going to do? The console can't improve. So it looks like we're going to have Bobby Dazzler starting on pole position for the feature race. Demobi lining up alongside him, the champion, new champion of the RRTCC in second. We've got Smithy and Lecky lining up on row 2. Then we've got Stealth Sheep, Lightblade. Shocking to see him so far back. But the packing order, guys, so close. Half a second separating the top 8 here. This is such a tightly contested field. We can't wait for the feature race to get going. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you just joining us, just want to remind you that Demobi has won the championship and he is the new champion of the RRTCC for 2020 Season 1 here at Rubbings Racing. Congratulations to Demobi. We're going to get going for the feature race in just a moment. So this is... Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the feature race, a 14-lap race with a mandatory pit stop. This is the final race of the Rubbings Racing's Touring Car Championship for this season. I just want to say, while we're here, massive congratulations to Demobi, and I just want to say a big thank you also to Lecky for being the coordinator of Rubbings Racing's Touring Car Championship this season. Well done to him for putting it all together, and well done to all the guys on the track for giving us the action here at Rubbings Racing, always showing us in the best light. It's testament to these guys on the track that you see what you see, and it's been a fantastic season on and off the track here at Rubbings Racing. This is the final race of the season. We'll obviously be back next season in around a month's time, and it will always be Tuesday nights, I believe, the RRTCC still. But great driving all season from these guys. Great to have them on the grid, and it's a very, very close finale, this one. Half a second separated the top 8 guys here in our feature race qualifying session. It's all to play for in this one. Bobby Dazzler at the front, Demobi, Smithy, Lecky behind these guys, Stealth Sheep and Lightblade, that guitar dude, the console, Uni Clark and Kembo, last season's podium finishers in the championship standings, second and third, lining up to complete the top 10 in our qualifying session for the feature race this evening. Grandad Steve, Thorsten Schmidt and Lionsfoot are going to round out the field. Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost about to get going here for this feature race. These guys just making the last minute adjustments to their strategies, and then we'll be getting going here and we'll be underway for the final race of the season.
15, like 8. 10,
qualifying, lads. Well done, Bob.
5.
Lecky.
Good luck.
Good luck, people.
Boys.
Here we go, we're almost about to get going when the lights out, we'll be on the way. And looks like they're off, and it looks like a good start there from Demobi on the right hand side. He's got the jump straight away on Bobby Dazzler. Demobi, champion of the RTCC, up into the lead at the first corner. Can he keep it, make it stick? It looks like he is going to. Bobby Dazzler goes a little bit wide. That might allow Smithy and Lecky to make a move at the inside, but it looks like they're going to go too wide there. Smithy trying to defend on the inside from Lecky. Smithy obviously in the battle for the runner-up spot in the championship. The console's up into P7. The console making a good start. So Smithy third, the console seventh currently. These guys are going to be battling it out in second place for the championship. So we've got Demobi leading the race. Bobby Dazzler, Smithy, Lecky, Lightblade, Smith, Sheep, the console, that started Grandmaster, Uniclark, Kembo losing a place there to Thorsten Schmidt, Uniclark around out the top 10 at the moment, and Lion's Foot at the back of the field. So Demobi here, it's pulled out a little bit to Bobby Dazzler here in the opening few corners, pulled out almost a second even as we come through the chicane. Bobby Dazzler now coming under intense pressure here from Smithy. Smithy knows he can get second place here in the championship. So he's going to be highly motivated to do the job here in this one. But currently looks to have lost a little bit of time there. But that's running a little bit wide there as they come through the chicane. Lightblade here has got a train of cars behind him. Stealth Sheep, the console, and that guitar dude hot on his heels as they come around this final section of the lap. But looks like these guys are going to go at it again. We saw in the sprint race that the battle for second place was hotly contested. Once again, the action at RubbingsRacing is always aplenty. As we see Smithy getting very out of shape there, and he's lost the position there to Light. Oh, he almost lost position to Lecky there. So Smithy is down a position. He's hearing he's got a slowdown penalty from the race director, and he's going to go straight on at the final chicane. That will inevitably allow Lightblade and the console to take the position, surely. So Smithy, no, he's into the pit lane. So Smithy in for his mandatory pit stop here very early on in this race. Obviously this is a 14 lap race with a mandatory pit stop. The feature race always is. It's the nature of the feature race. So Smithy here blinking very early. Demobi currently leading us around here. Champion of the RTCC has got just under a second here, but Bobby Dazzler not letting him get out of his sight at the moment. Lecky just following these guys around, keeping them well within his reach at the moment. Lightblade seems to have dropped off of Lecky a little bit, and he's got Stealth Sheep not too far off of him. Looks like Uniclark's closing onto the back of that guitar dude now, just 0.3 of a second separating these guys as they come up this back straight. And Thorsten is coming under some pressure now from Kembo. Kembo looking to the outside. Can he get the move coming into the chicane? Kembo's going to go the outside. Is Thorsten going to go late on the brakes? Yes, he is. Thorsten's not going to let Kembo go around the outside of him. Kembo's going to duck in and out, but it looks like Thorsten's got the position here. Kembo's going to get a nice exit coming out of the chicane. He's going to pull alongside him. He's going to try and distract him in the mirrors. We know Kembo, one of these guys who likes to study people's lines, figure out how they race, and then when the time is right, go for his move and put it on them. But at the moment, Thorsten not taking the bait and keeping that position, keeping firm, holding his nerve here. Thorsten Schmidt, good driving there from Thorsten, one of our regulars in our GT3 league as well, and a very good clean driver. Actually races in cockpit view as well, so hats off to Thorsten. Goes for the full sim racing experience here as we see battle at the front here. Demobi is being closed in now by Bobby Dazzler. Bobby Dazzler has had a little bit of an underwhelming season, P6 in the championship. We know he's well capable of fighting it out for victories here in the RTCC. He'll be looking to go out on a high here this season. He's moving to the outside here of Demobi. Demobi's going to go defensive, and it looks like Bobby Dazzler, oh, he's got it very wrong coming through turn one, and could potentially fall back into the clutches here of Lecky. Bobby Dazzler, definitely that's not how you do turn one. It looks like Lecky's going to have a look here. We're right on board, looks like Lecky's through, so what's Bobby Dazzler going to do? Bobby Dazzler's dropping positions. Lightblade is right up his back now here, so that did not go well for Bobby Dazzler, but I'm sure we can regroup and go again. We know he's got the pace to stick with our race leader, so stay tuned on this one, guys. I'm sure Bobby Dazzler will be fighting back. Here he comes. He's in the slipstream actually of Lecky, but he's got Lightblade right behind him as they come hard on the brakes into the chicane. And you can see those guys absolutely riding it. Lecky a little bit loose, and that's going to allow Bobby Dazzler back up the inside. Lecky, very late defensive manoeuvre, but he does flash his lights, maybe saying to him, let go past there, obviously with the slowdown penalty. So Lecky, maybe a little bit of miscommunication. He's letting a lot of these guys through. Looks like Stealth Sheep, Lightblade have got through as well. So Lecky losing heaps of positions there in the process with that slowdown penalty. Not a good moment there for Lecky. but I'm sure that he'll get it going again and be able to fight back in this race. Demobi, in the meantime, with all of this going on, has stretched out the gap at the front. He's got 1.5 seconds. Let's see what's going on further down in the pack. Thorsten seems to still have Kembo right behind him. Lionsfoot waiting to get involved in this action. Not much at all separating these guys at the moment. Daniel Stalker says, come on Kembo, drop a gear. Let's see where Kembo is. Kembo currently P10. Daniel is right behind Thorsten Schmidt at the moment, flashing his lights at Thorsten, trying to distract him in the mirrors, or maybe flashing his lights, saying hello to Daniel. Daniel saying, where have you been? Okay, well, we'll try and figure out who Daniel is at some point in this in these comments, as we see somebody else coming into the pits. That's Thorsten in the BMW. So Thorsten's second man to bring it in. So Smithy, Thorsten and the console low-key brought it into the pit lane as well, so hoping to get the jump there on, I think he's hoping to get the jump on Smithy, but Smithy also into the pit. So these guys, 8 seconds separates them on the road. We know the console had 3 points on Smithy coming into this feature race, and at the moment Smithy with track position, he's got 8 seconds to the console. Alex is going to have to get his foot down here if he wants to keep second spot in the championship. Ollie Marseille will be on tenterhooks here, waiting to see how his man gets on, and Big Al obviously will be hoping that the console can get it sorted out in this race. He's currently got 11 laps to try and reel in 8 seconds to Smithy. Having said that though, it depends on what position these guys finishing, because if they finish lower than 4th, then as long as that Alex is within 2 points on the classification, he should finish ahead of Smithy in the standings. But again, we'll just have to keep an eye on it, see how this develops. Just want to make sure that my voice is being shared. Yeah, we're all good, sorry about that. So Lionsfoot's here, seems to have dropped off of Kembo a little bit. Kembo showing the pace that maybe has been missing this season, and as I said earlier on, Kembo I'm sure will be wanting this season to end as soon as possible. He's our 43-year-old driver from Pennsylvania in the USA, regular commentator on our races. You'll hear his voice on Thursday and Friday nights. He's one of our moderators, member of our staff team, been with us since the early days here as Kembo 76. Very, very fast on his day. He's definitely got the talent, but unfortunately this season in the touring cars, for whatever reason, it just hasn't really worked out. As we see 3 more guys bringing it into the pits, Demobi, Bobby Dazzler and Lecky all coming in the box. It looks like Demobi's furthest up of these guys, the champion already of this season. I'm sure he'll be looking to go out on a high though and try and take the feature race victory as well as the sprint race in this one. So that's going to allow Stealth Sheep into the lead of the race at the moment. Stealth Sheep has got Lightblade in tow though. Stealth Sheep are not able to shake off these guys, but that guitar dude's still right there. And we're just hearing from Demobi that his pit crew, for some goodness knows what reason, have decided to change the tyres on his car. So that is going to hold him up no end, and sounds like he's dropped way back down the field. He looks like he's come out behind Smithy, Bobby Dazzler and the console. So that is a disaster there for Demobi. In the meantime, we're going to keep an eye on the battle between Smithy and the console. It looks like they're separated by 8.5 seconds. So as it stands, Smithy should probably finish with a person in front between himself and Alex. We know Smithy, if he wants to finish in second place in the championship, needs to get at least one person between himself and the console in the classification if he wants to get the runner-up spot. If he finishes 1 place in front of Alex, it would need to be second or higher. Otherwise, he doesn't get the spot ahead of him. So as it stands, it would actually go to Smithy, the runner-up spot with Bobby Dazzler in between them. Smithy would take second place in the championship. Alex has got to clear Bobby Dazzler, and when the other guys come into the pit stops, we'll be able to get a better idea of what the state of play is at the moment. But advantage Smithy here for second in the championship as it stands. Tuggy Bear says that Moby's pit crew are trolling the champion. Well, at this stage, and they can afford to, because they've done the job. Maybe a little bit of a joke there, although having said that, Demobi's pit crew very competitive, and I'm sure that they wouldn't be wanting to stitch up their champion driver here at this stage in the season, having just done the job and just shown what they're made of. It looks like the Lightblade there getting very loose on the exit, getting onto the gravel just a little bit too much. That's going to lose him lots of time there to Stealth Sheep, and that guitar is going to close right up onto the back of him. Uni Clark also following these guys very, very closely. They come through the chicane, a little bit of a Lightblade, a little bit of a wobble. That guitar is going to pull right onto the back of him, right in the bumper of him as they come down the slipstream. Looks like that guitar is trying to distract Lightblade in the mirrors here, but Lightblade not having any of it as they come through the right-handed chicane. and looks like a lock up there from that guitar dude. Stealth Sheep, no sorry, Uniclark even is right on the back of that guitar dude as well, not letting him get out of his sight here. It's good driving here from Uniclark, has made his way up through the pack here in this feature race quite quietly, it must be said. In the meantime, Stealth Sheep has pulled away from these guys at the front, has got the race lead at the moment, but the net race lead I believe is, I'm having a look back through it, I think it might actually be, I think Stealth Sheep might come out ahead of Smithy when he comes into the pits, you know. And here he comes. Our race leader is into the pit lane. So Stealth Sheep brings it in. That's going to allow Lightblade, that guitar dude and Uniclark to take first, second and third here. As they come out of the last corner, they're going to come line of stern onto the pit straight. And it's Lightblade leading the way as we come over the line to complete lap 6 of 14 here. He's got that guitar dude in hot pursuit. Is he going to look for a move here, that guitar dude? Maybe not close enough this time around. But the more time he spends behind Lightblade, the more time Uniclark has to try and get past him. As we see that guitar dude trying to pull alongside Lightblade, but Lightblade sticking to his inside line and holding the position on the inside. Good driving here from Lightblade, very disciplined and well managed at the moment in this one. He's definitely lost his opportunity to take second place in the championship here in the RTC. Oh, as we see Lightblade getting very loose on the gravel, that's going to allow that guitar dude to drag him down the straight. It looks like that guitar dude's got into position. Is Uniclark going to get by as well? Yes, he is. So Lightblade there, ill discipline or poor judgment, whatever it was, he's gone off the track and onto the gravel, and that's going to drop him down into third place, and that will be further down than that once these guys come into the pits. Let's have a look back through the order. So Stealth Sheep has come out 3 seconds behind Smithy. So as it stands in the battle for the runner-up spot in the championship, it looks like Smithy is going to do it. At this point, Smithy currently P6, the console P9. The point standings as it stands would mean that Smithy would take second place in the championship, but Alex, I'm sure, will be wanting to get his foot down and make sure that does not happen. But he's got 10 seconds between them now, and Alex needs to make sure that he gets ahead of Stealth Sheep and Bobby Dazzler if he wants to get this position here in the championship. Plus he would have to make sure that there's only one person between them as well. And we're hearing team radio there from that guitar dude. He was not happy with that move there from Uniclark, presumably, but it looks like Lightblade and Uniclark have brought it into the pit lane. I missed that on the stream, but it sounds like that guitar dude not in the slightest bit happy with the move there from Uniclark. We'll have to see that. I'm sure that will be posted in the stewards panel after the race, but in the meantime that guitar dude's released into some clear air here. First time in the race that he's been allowed to show what he can do in this one. He's got nobody in front of him now. He can get his foot down, get the hammer down and try and log some laps before he comes in for his mandatory pit stop. That guitar dude usually pushes it right to the end to make his pit stop, so we'll be seeing him try and stretch that gap as much as he can before the final lap here. Smithy running 19 seconds off of the race lead. He's been in for the mandatory stop, so as it stands it looks like Smithy in the box seat to take the race victory here, and with it the runner-up spot in the championship. The console currently running 7 seconds behind Lightblade. He needs to make sure that he finishes ahead of Stealth Sheep, Lightblade, Bobby Dazzler and Uniclark if he wants to take runner-up spot in the championship. It looks like Lightblade's just got past Stealth Sheep here. We is still on the stream, but he's got the move. Is Stealth Sheep going to fight back here? Or it looks like Lightblade's quite clearly ahead of him, so Stealth Sheep must have made a mistake. He's going to fall back into the clutches now. Bobby Dazzler, he's come through the chicane. Very, very close in combat here. A little bit of a not looking very confident there on the exit with Stealth Sheep, but Bobby Dazzler in tow, trying to distract him in the mirrors, but I'm sure that Jeff's not going to fall for that one. Let's see what's going on here. It looks like Uniclark here is coming under a bit of pressure now from the console. The console knows he needs to get this done quickly. He needs to make his way through the pack here if he wants to pick up second spot in the championship. He needs to overtake the 4 guys in front of him if he wants to do this. And here he comes. He's going to look to the outside here of Uniclark. Can he put it around the outside? Is Uniclark going to go late on the brakes? Yes, he is. Uniclark tries to defend the position, but Alex, very good driving and does the undercut there. A little bit of a nudge, maybe pushed him out of road, but Alex, I think that's just about fair. Hard is fair at RubbingsRacing, as they say. The console just nudges Uniclark out of the way and up into P6. So Alex has just got Stealth Sheep, Bobby Dazzler and Lightblade in the way of getting the runner-up spot in the championship, but that's a long way to go in this race. Currently 6 laps left to go, so anything can happen, but Alex has got a hell of a task. He's got to make 7 seconds up in 6 laps here. It's doable, but it's going to be extremely difficult, and if Alex can pull this off, he's a hell of a driver, I'd have to say. Smithy currently sat in the box seat for the runner-up spot, currently second in this race, but he will be in the lead by the time these guys come in. But having said that though, if he does win the race, Smithy, then he will gain 5 points on the console. The console would probably need fastest lap, but he didn't get pole position either. So it looks like pretty much Smithy has got this one, unless something dramatic happens, unless he loses control of the car or Lightblade manages to close in on him. It looks like this one is all done, unfortunately for the console. But that Guitardo is still going around, currently in P1 at the moment. He's got 18 seconds here to Smithy. Smithy's closing that gap, so that Guitardo's strategy of trying to pull this gap out before he makes his pit stop is not really working at the moment. Smithy is going fastest of anybody on the track. Smithy last time around did a 1 minute 40.1. He was 7 tenths quicker than that Guitardo last time. Let's see what it is this time as he comes into the final corner. He's got a bit of traffic in front of him. That looks like it might be Lecky here. So Lecky's going to have to move over for the blue flags that are being waved at him, but here comes Smithy. Smithy saying on the team radio there not to bother about moving over. So here he comes. He's just done his fastest lap of the race so far, has Smithy. He's just done a 1:39.5. I think that is the fastest lap of the race. I'm not sure what Demobi's doing at the moment, but Demobi is 36 seconds down the road, so it doesn't look like he's going to be a major player in this race. Our champion of the RRTCC having a difficult feature race, got held up in the pit stops. There's mechanics letting him down massively in this one, but it doesn't matter at this stage in the championship with it already having been won. Looks like Daniel Stalker's staying on a charge. Maybe he's talking about Kembo, but it looks like Kembo's retired from the race. Very unfortunate there for our American from Pennsylvania. He's had to bring the car into the pits, and Kembo's disastrous season here in the RRTCC is finally over. I'm sure that he'll be looking to regroup and go again next season for season 2 of 2020, but unlucky there for Kembo. We know he's a very, very quick driver, got lots of talent here in these touring cars, but he hasn't really been able to show it due to a lot of bad luck and unfortunateness in this season. As we see Lecky there moving over for Smithy, so Smithy taking that position. He's closing ever closer to that Guitardo, but we know that Guitardo's got to come in for his stop. So it looks like Smithy pretty much has got this runner-up spot in the championship absolutely nailed. And even if the console can get within one position of Smithy, he simply cannot do it, because Smithy will gain 5 points on whoever finishes second if he wins the race. And the gap 3 points in the championship, it looks pretty much set. Smithy driven an excellent race here in this feature race, knew what he had to do, knew he had to just finish in front of the console if he wanted to finish second in the championship, and he has done that. Very, very well disciplined here. Tuggy Bear said, I heard reports Demobi's pit crew were eating some ice cream in the pit lane. Well, Tuggy, I would say he probably had the champagne out already by the looks of it, but maybe it was the ice cream, who knows. We'll have to find out afterwards. I'm sure that well, maybe you've seen what they were doing. I haven't actually been in the pit lane. I've been sat in the commentary box. But let us know, Tuggy, if you've seen anything. Post some photos to Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and let us know the rumours before we do. But currently, that Guitardo leading the race, 17 seconds still to Smithy. Smithy's just closing in that gap. He doesn't need to push it that hard. He knows that Guitardo's coming in for his mandatory pit stop, so it's not too much of an issue for him. He just needs to keep this gap here to Lightblade. Smithy's got a 4-second gap here to Lightblade, who is in a net second place once that Guitardo comes into the pits. That Guitardo, we're expecting him to come out probably around Stealth Sheep, so the battle for the final podium spot should be well and truly on for this one. As we see, Lightblade is 4 tenths up on his personal best at the moment, so he's absolutely flying around his Bobby. One of the new additions to RubbingsRacing's team. I say new, it's probably about 2-3 weeks ago, but Bobby's now a member of our Marshall team here at RubbingsRacing. Has got a lot of cool new ideas. One of the faster guys here, just a natural talent, is Bobby. Very, very quick, can pretty much drive any car on this game, and says he knows absolutely nothing about setups. It's just about driving it. You can jump in a car with a good setup and instantly get the best out of it. One of the best guys, and talking about making a team for RubbingsRacing, one of the team for the best drivers here at RubbingsRacing to represent us in outside of RubbingsRacing. So good to see Bobby doing a good job here, third at the moment. He will pick up second once Laxadu comes in for his mandatory stop, but it looks like he's got his work cut out if he wants to close in here on Smithy for the net race victory at the moment. Uniclock is closing in onto the back of Grandad's D at the moment. This is the battle for P8 currently, and just having a look back to the back here, it looks like Thorsten here is very, very close to Lionsfoot. But having said that though, over the line, it looks like Lionsfoot maybe overtook him at the start of that lap, so I think Scotty has actually overtaken Thorsten at the beginning of that lap and has got the move done, because looking at the timing boards, Lionsfoot was actually a second quicker than Thorsten Schmidt last time around. But it looks like Scotty doing a good job in the final top 10 spot here. He's got round Thorsten and seems to have that position nailed down. That guitar dude, currently P1, still needs to come in for his mandatory pit stop. I'll just remind all the viewers that that guitar dude has got 15 seconds on Smithy, but he still needs to come in. When he does, we're expecting Smithy to come out in the lead of the race. Lightblade should come out in second. It's going to be very interesting to see where that guitar dude slots in. Will he slot in ahead of Stealth Sheep, or will he be behind them? We just don't know at this point, but we'll have to keep our eyes open.
Be about 8th position.
Smithy seems to think that that guitar dude will drop way down the field when he comes into the pits. Maybe the pit lane is a little bit longer here at Zolder. We'll just have to wait and see how this one pans out. But that guitar dude could potentially be dropped way down the field. But these guys are a little bit strung out at the moment. In fact, the only battle I can see at the moment is potentially Bobby Dazzler closing in on the console. The console may feel a little bit disheartened after this. He went into this feature race with a chance of taking the runner-up spot in the... Oh, as you see, Bobby Dazzler almost lose the car there. Did very, very well to cling on to that. Great save there from Bobby Dazzler. I was just saying, the console may feel a little bit disheartened in this one. He came into this feature race with an opportunity of taking the runner-up spot in the championship. Actually had second place over Smithy going into this one, but it's not worked out very well at all for Smithy, the console in this one, and he's dropped points to Smithy. Smithy currently running in the net race lead, second spot in the classification, but that will change to first place once that guitar dude comes in. And I just want to say, I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like Smithy is going to do it and take the second spot in the championship. Currently, Lionsfoot not able to shake off Thorsten Schmidt at the moment. Thorsten's still sticking to the back of him. This battle looks to rage on here as that guitar dude comes in for his mandatory stop. So that Smithy is going to come into the final chicane now, and he's going to start the final lap of this feature race here for round 6 of RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship. Here is Zolder, the final round. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final lap of the season. Smithy's just starting it now. So here he comes. The race is not over yet. This is the final lap of the season. Smithy looks like he's going to take the runner-up spot with victory here in the feature race as it stands. He's done a brilliant job in this feature race. Knew he had to finish ahead of the console if he wanted to get it done, and he's kept discipline, kept his head down, and looks like Smithy's going to do the job. The console currently running down in P4 at the moment. Looks like he's closing in on Stealth Sheep, but it's too little too late for Alex to get a podium. He's got 2 seconds to make up on Jeff, and Jeff, one of the fastest drivers in the touring car division. It looks like Alex is going to have a hell of a task to try and reel that one in. Lightblade doing a good job in second place. He's kept that gap to Smithy pretty consistent. Smithy, I'd say, has been gradually pulling away, but not by too much. Lightblade still sticking to the task. Daniel Stalker says, don't celebrate too soon. I assume that's directed at Smithy. Smithy definitely not done the job yet, but he's got about half a lap to go here in this feature race. Very well disciplined here from Smithy. Pitted very, very early in the race. I had question marks over it. Thought, well, that might be a risk, with the traffic that he's going to have coming back through. But it looks like he's judged it to perfection here. And Smithy is going to come into the last few corners now. Regular winner here in the RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship. Has won a lot of races here over the course of his career in the Touring Car Championship to date, and definitely will be a contender next season for the championship. I'm sure he'll try and push Demobi a little bit more than he did this season. Smithy is going to come out of the final turn, and he's going to take the feature race win here, and along with it the runner-up spot in the RRTCC. Great driving from Smithy. Takes the win here at Zolder in the feature race for round 6 of the RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship. Final round here. Lightblade's going to just about hold on. Well, no, it looks like he's actually lap lecky here, so Lightblade there but he's going to lose second place with a penalty. So Stealth Sheep and the console pick up second and third with Lightblade's penalty. Lightblade drops all the way back to fourth place. Bobby Dazzler completes the top. What? Hold on. Bobby Dazzler loses fifth place with a penalty, so Demobi completes the top 5. Then we got That Guitar Dude. Bobby Dazzler classified in 7th place. Grandad Steve comes over in 8th. Then we got Uni Clark. Lionsfoot looks like he's going to just about hold on here for ahead of Thorsten Schmidt, but Thorsten Schmidt looking very, very feisty up towards the final chicane. Is Thorsten going to go for a dive? He is going to go for a dive. He's going to absolutely go very late on the brakes there. That's what he's going to have to defend coming out of the final corner. It looks like Scotty might have it, but Thorsten looking very, very hot on his heels. It looks like Scotty's going to do it though. Scotty's going to hold on for the final top 10 spot. Good driving there from those two guys. A race long battle. Great driving from Smithy. Takes the feature race, and with it the runner-up spot in the championship. Stealth Sheep finishes in second. The console loses the runner-up spot right at the very end there to finish in third in the race and in the championship. Congratulations once again to Demobi on taking the RRTCC this evening and taking the Season 1 2020 RubbingsRacing Touring Car Championship. Thank you to everybody for watching us live on YouTube. Be sure to join us for all this week. This is Championship Week here at RubbingsRacing. We've got the final race of the Friday GT5 Janetta League, the championship going down to the wire with the console, Bowie and K Morse all within a chance of winning the championship on Friday evening at 8 PM GMT. Then Sunday morning, be sure to tune in on Twitter to see who wins in this 5-way battle for the Formula Renault Championship. And obviously Sunday evening, 8 PM GMT, join us for the GT3 Championship to see who wins in the duel for the double between Yasko and Edwin. Those guys will be battling it out at Daytona Road Course, 8 PM GMT on Sunday evening. Guys, thank you ever so much for joining us. Thank you for supporting the RRTCC over the course of this season. Congratulations to the Moby. We'll see you guys on Thursday for Thursday Night Lights. Please join us on the RubbingsRacing channel. From us, it's good night and peace.
Cheers, Andy.